going on, you guys? It's me, AnarchYxNinja. So, disclaimer, we're going to get into Acolyte Episode 4 thoughts. Spoiler warning, obviously. Let's get all this stuff out of the way before we get into the thoughts. We're also live streaming at the moment. I haven't looked at chat. We're not going to look at chat until I get over my thoughts, and then once we're done with that, then we'll open it up to the chat. As usual, we do that every video now. But anyway, let's just get into it. You know, I'm sure you can tell by my tone, I don't have a whole lot positive to say. But I'm going to try to do it in order, I guess. Early on, I thought, you know what, this episode's starting kind of slow, but there's nothing particularly glaring that we're going to roast. Not like the last episode where, you know what happened episode 3, right? We don't need to get into it. I'm like, alright, this is good. We know from the trailer and some of the leaks, even though I don't particularly pay attention to them, we know there was going to be an engagement between the, I'm just going to call him a Sith Lord. I don't think he's actually a Sith Lord. Maybe he is. I don't know. We don't know as of now, but the smiley face bad guy. That's what we all kind of want. At least me, anyway. So the episode's kind of slow. The only thing I really have a big problem with this show, well, with this particular episode, but it's also in the whole show, up until the point I'm going to really start roasting. But early on, the only thing I noticed was the CGI looks really bad. In particular on the shot where May and, I don't know the Asian dude, her little, like, friend or whatever, lands on Kalnucka's planet. I don't remember the name of the planet. But the ship lands, and my god, it is just garbage CGI. And again, when you consider the show's budget, that's just ridiculous, dude. Do better. But again, if that's the worst thing I got to roast, it wasn't going to be the end of it. So I was excited. I'm like, you know, it's a slow episode so far, but we're going to get to the action. We're going to get the villain revealed, or maybe not revealed like his true identity, but we get to see him. We get to see him do something. We're going to have the engagement we see in the trailer, right?
Alright, we lost this section.
Yeah, I'm skipping over a lot of the boring parts of the story, but yeah, the Jedi are going there, May's going there, they're all trying to get to Kalnucka at the same time. They're going through the forest, blah, 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 whatever. Not a whole lot to report on this one, and most of the stuff I really want to get to is at the end of the episode, because again, the beginning was just kind of slow. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't have much positive to say, so we're just gonna get into the negative. But the first negative we really get into is May and the other guy's name. For the life of me, I can't remember, the Asian guy who was in the poison guy. They're going through the forest trying to get to Kalnucka, and she gets tired. Understandably so. I'm a fat guy, I can't run for long. And then she has a change of heart, and she captures them, and May changes everything, or no, not May, Osha changes everything. I'm gonna go back with her. I'm gonna abandon my dark side way, and we call that day one. I didn't want to see it, and it's already happening, not even in an interesting way. So she's already, as of now, it looks like turning back to the light side. She was gonna go turn herself into Kalnucka so he could then turn her over to the Jedi Order, and she was going to get out of prison, at least this is her plan, by reporting on who her master is, right? So she's already turned tail.
Do not panic. Responding concert.
Damn, we called that day one, and we could already see the direction it was going in. It's not even interesting. So that's my first big strike with this episode. Believe it or not, I don't want to just roast episodes, by the way. If you want to hear positive reviews, talk about House of the Dragon. Go watch those, that's good. But, that annoyed me, but again, I could see that one coming a mile away. So even though it annoys me, I'm like, whatever. Let's get to the good villain, because personally, May doesn't interest me, especially for that reason. I figured she was going to go back to the light side. Now she's doing it. So I'm like, alright, whatever. Let's get to the new guy, whatever this guy's name is. Smiley face, right? So they had a cool scene. This scene was done kind of well. I kind of did like this part, so I will report something positive. She runs to Kalnucka. May runs into Kalnucka's hut, which this part might piss some fans off, but me personally, I don't care. But she ran into Kalnucka's hut to turn herself in, and she finds him dead in his chair with a clear lightsaber wound to his chest. Dun dun dun, you know her boss is there. The fear, I like that. They set him up nicely with that. She was scared. You're like, oh, this is it. This is gonna be a big moment. Okay, oh, get hype. We're gonna see the real bad guy again. I love villains. This is gonna be good. Been lackluster 4 episodes up to this point. This is where it's gonna turn, right? Getting excited. Then the Jedi show up, and they're all standing outside, you know, blah, blah, blah. Come out, May, we know you're in there, blah, 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 blah. You know, all this stuff. Very boring. Yeah, particular scene. But the good part comes in. Now, all of a sudden, Sol, because he's the only Jedi who knows anything, start sensing something behind them. And I'm like, oh, this is good. And they cut to a shot where it's just that dark figure emerging out of the bushes. Kind of like a horror movie. They shot that scene very nicely. I'll give them that. And I'm like, oh, here we go. This is gonna be it. He comes up to me. He ignites his lightsaber. We're like, oh, this is where the shit's gonna get good. Let's go, dude. They all go rushing at him. He uses a force push. And then the show ends.
You'll never get there.
This show has been so lackluster through 4 episodes. I'm gonna try to refrain from
Don't give up easy.
I need to upload this vid tonight. We can't be having demonetization issues. It's been so boring. Through so many episodes, we finally get to the moment we want to see. And all they have shown us was him do a force push and then it ends. Now we gotta wait to episode 5. 4 episodes have been utterly fucking boring. Sorry, I cussed. I can't. Whatever. Disney should grow, or YouTube should grow up here. And it just ends. It's the same stuff we saw in the trailer. We saw a little more of the cool, scary moment with him. But again, the only interesting character, for me personally, that I'm even kind of interested in, they again just wasted. So we've spent 4 episodes following the bad guys. May playing the part of a bad guy. We knew she was going to turn back to the light side, because they're going to do the Captain Wonder twins. When our powers combine, we can take on everyone's shit towards the end, sadly. We called it. It's going to happen, most likely. So we've been following this villain, May, this whole time, and she hasn't even been a bad guy. We kind of figured that anyway, but they're kind of doing what Mando Season 3 did, where there's not a whole lot particularly interesting with the story going on. The one part with the villain that could make the story interesting, they wait to the last second to show it, and then it's over like that. They've done it a little faster with this one. They didn't wait to the last 2 episodes, they wait to the last 4. But it's just, we build up to this awesome moment, and now we just get another lackluster episode. I was hoping that they had planned this a little better. After the garbage of episode 3, I was hoping they planned it a little better going into episode 4. We're going to need a strong episode 4 to try to right the ship again. And we just get another very boring episode. Minus the cool scene with the villain coming in and kind of, not a jump scare, but it was eerie, you know. That was cool. Other than that, it's just a wasted episode of them walking around looking for this dumbass Wookiee everybody wanted to see who's dead. That probably pissed off the Wookiee lovers, but again, I personally don't give a shit. And it's just... This show sucks. I'm trying. This is me trying to say it as nice as possible. This show fucking sucks, dude. It really does. I literally just rolled my eyes and put my headset down after like another fucking wasted episode. We're halfway through the season and nothing particularly interesting has happened other than the big moments of them possibly ruining Anakin and blah blah blah, all the shit we saw in episode 3. It's like, what? How is this show so bad, dude? It's just, I don't know, man. Again, if you listened to the stream yesterday, we talked about, I kind of want Acolyte to be the sacrificial lamb where it just bombs so bad, Disney's forced to make changes. I don't want Star Wars to fail, but it's kind of like we need to chop off the hand to save the body. You know? I hope Acolyte bombs so bad, it will then allow us to have another good Star Wars stuff, because it forces them to change shit. But it's just, we're 4 episodes in, and nothing particularly interesting is happening. I don't particularly care about any of the characters. The coolest one, in my personal opinion, I know many other people share this opinion, but is the villain. And they hype him up, and it's gone. We gotta wait another week just to see anything. It feels more like late Walking Dead writing than it does anything else. You know, and it's just... and again, I haven't watched any videos on this. I haven't looked at Twitter. I haven't looked at anything. I finished the show, got on. So all these opinions are solely me. I'm not basing it off what any of the big YouTubers who hate her think. This is just my opinion on the show. And it is very boring to this point. I'm like, what are we doing here, dude? We're halfway through the season and nothing interesting is happening. The only fight scenes, I'll even roast this specific show a little more. A lot of times on a lot of shows, you see the trailer and it gives away a lot. But usually, even with some of the other Star Wars shows, the stuff you see in the trailers is mostly what happens in the first few episodes. They leave a lot of it out of the trailer. This particular show is not doing that. So the only fight scenes we've already seen in the trailer pretty much. So it's not particularly interesting. The villain scene, the villain entrance was a little cooler because they didn't show the full thing, but we're adding like 10 seconds to what we saw in the trailer. Admittedly, that scene was kind of cool, but other than that, it's what we've seen. He does the force push we see in the trailer, same cut. There we go. But now here, it cuts, we gotta wait to episode 5 to get into anything. And it's just, even if, I have no problem with, well, apparently we can't find games anyway. That's awesome. I have no problem with cliffhangers, but you have to use cliffhangers when the show is mostly interesting. Right now, the show is boring and they're not doing anything. So we finally get to the interesting part where they're gonna have the fight. And then immediately you take momentum out of the sails, or the wind out of the sails, because now we have to wait. You break up the fight. So we just saw him push, it ends there. Okay, so I'm assuming next episode's gonna pick up right there. But knowing they're writing, they're probably gonna cut to the flashback next episode. I don't know, that's just me spitballing. But you immediately take out the momentum of the fight. We finally built up to a cool scene, cliffhanger. But there's been nothing interesting up to this point, so you're just wasting the one cool moment we're kind of getting. Bro, I have nothing nice to report on this show. It is shit. It is garbage. It is... I'm not even talking about the woke aspect. I'm not even talking about messing up the lore. I'm talking just from this show's own writing and just directing. It's garbage, dude. Holy fuck. If I wasn't a Star Wars YouTuber and have to talk about this every week, I wouldn't even watch this show. It is so fucking shit to this point. And this is where the Disney lovers are, well, just wait, it's gonna get better episode 4. I don't want to watch a season if the only good thing that happens is at the end. I want there to be stuff in the middle, in the beginning, to keep me interested. And up to this point, there's been nothing. The only things they've shown, it fucked up the lore. It's just, dude, I don't got nothing good to report other than the awesome villain scene. So, I mean, damn, it's just, yeah. I don't have anything really good to report. I'm trying to think of something. And, yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Let's just go to the chat, see if anybody said anything interesting. It doesn't look like anybody has said anything interesting, to be honest. But, side note, I thought, was that Plo Koon in the background, I guess? That might be the most interesting thing. Damn, this game is dead. We are not finding any lobbies right now, unfortunately. We're trying to do this over gameplay, but apparently Battlefront, Acolyte's turning everyone off to Star Wars, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the reason. We tried to get a video last night, but the servers were down, so we switched to German servers because they're alive. Then there's the problem. We should find a game now. But... Why? Because we're YouTubers. The people you're talking about are YouTubers who make money off the topic. That's why we have to talk about it. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I would not be watching this shit, to be honest. I would have cashed out a long time ago and hope for the best. But it's just, I don't even know. I don't know how they can fail so hard with the show when this show's budget is the same of House of the Dragon. Or I think more per episode than House of the Dragon. And it's just, the story is just garbage. The characters are garbage to this point. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just, it is very sad seeing Star Wars have this much of a budget, have this garbage of CGI, this garbage of storytelling, the writing, the directing, whatever you want to call it. You finally build up to an exciting moment. One of the things we've been saying leading into this is, I don't think I'm going to like the show overall, but I hope we get some awesome duels out of it. Now, we finally get to a point where there could be a duel, and again, another thing we've talked about Star Wars, a lot of the good guys don't die. This particular episode, they took a lot of Jedi to that planet. And let's face it, a lot of them are cannon fodder. They're gonna die. So I was like, we're gonna get to see an awesome duel. And immediately, cut. Now we gotta wait. There goes the momentum, right there. It's like, finally we're gonna get a good moment. Finally gonna get a good moment. If anything, if I was directing this episode, again, the whole show would be different if I was handling it. But if I was the one doing it, I would have had the fight happen this episode. Because we need something. The show's been boring. Have it end after the Jedi get messed up. Maybe some of them barely escape because obviously they're not all gonna die. Blah, blah, blah. But end on that, we're like, damn, the Jedi just got fucked up. They didn't even do that. They don't even do that. Like, it just... I don't know, man. Go watch House of the Dragon. Episode 1's already better than these 4 episodes combined, frankly. It's just sad. And with less budget, too. Fucking awesome, isn't it? Yeah, Shogun. Go watch Shogun. If you want to watch good shows, go watch Shogun. Like, there's so many better shows you could be watching. But sadly, and the thing that annoys me, there's going to be a lot of these fucking... I'm going to try to refrain from cussing because I need to upload this vid tonight. So if it gets demonetized, I'm in trouble. It might be too late for that. But, like, there's going to be those Star Wars lovers that just love everything. I don't even get... I don't understand how you enjoy this show. I personally don't. I look at things very objectively. In this whole roast of this episode, I'm not even talking about wokeness or messing up the lore. I'm solely talking about this particular episode's writing and shooting and stuff. And even by separating myself from those other two major factors, I ain't got nothing positive to report. Other than it was a kind of cool villain entrance that's immediately then wasted because you start the fight and then stop. It's just... yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else positive to say. What? I gotta find something positive. I can't just be one of those negative guys.
Rebel rockets hitting home.
And out of those 3 Jedi Masters dying, we've only seen one that actually had action. The other one just kills himself because he's a sad boy, and the other one just dies off screen. Like, even on the moments where you could show stuff, they don't show it. Like, and again, the one we saw where there was a fight, we saw before the show even came out. They released that whole fight. Or at least most of it. I don't know if they showed the actual death, but I think they showed most of the fight. But it takes away all the show's momentum. I don't know what they're doing. Like, they're literally shooting themselves in the foot on so many different levels, and then when we talk bad about it, you're racist, you're phobic, you're like, oh my god, dude. You guys are just bad at your fucking, you're bad at your job, dude. You're just bad at your job, to be completely honest. They don't know what they're doing with this show. It's rare when I go on a show this hard, but it's deserving of it. They just are not good at what they do. Ashley, whatever, that girl, I hope we never see her again, to be completely honest. She's getting up there with the Rian Johnsons and the Robert Rodriguez in Star Wars for me. Those are 3 people now I don't want to see in Star Wars. They are not doing a good job on their stuff. But sadly, this one's a female and a you-know-what, so they're probably going to have to be very nice with the way they word things to her because they don't want to get called out by people. But yeah, that person needs to be dealt with, I would say, in a nice way. It's I don't even know, man. I don't really have much else to say. No, Ahsoka was not even close to this slow. Not even close to this garbage episode. Ahsoka had shit going on a lot of the episodes. This one does not even close. Don't even compare Ahsoka to this. Ahsoka looks like prime Game of Thrones compared to this show, with how bad this show is. And Ahsoka had its problems, don't get me wrong, but compared to this, it looks like the best thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like, Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, episode 5 might be interesting. That's good. We're only fucking over halfway through the show at that point. Like, that's awesome news. Let's use Kylo, because this guy looks like a discount Kylo. Yeah, even though he's the only guy kind of liking the show, I'm still going to roast him just because that's what you do. I still hope he kind of ties into the mother with that we were talking about on stream yesterday with the Avalot. They kind of have that same design, like with their teeth, so maybe they'll do something with that. I don't know, but again, I don't really think it's gonna matter much. Nobody's gonna care. If anything, they're gonna mess up this story so bad. If they do tie it into Avalot, people are not gonna be excited for Avalot when she comes out in Ahsoka or wherever the next episode or whatever the next show is that should get introduced, if they even go down that route. Could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know. What else? I'm still trying to think of something positive to report on this episode specifically. We saw a ginger in Star Wars. That was funny. That was awesome, I guess. I'm like, hey, there's a ginger. That's all I can come up with. It's not even positive. You roast gingers. That's what you do. It's a joke. But that's all I got. What else? Let's see. I gotta really think here. Man, I'm glad I don't react to this, because my reactions would immediately get demonetized. The moment I saw it, and I just like slammed everything down like, this is so bad. In a way, it's a good thing. Like I said, I kind of want it to bomb so bad that they have to change, so... Yeah, that is still on track to hopefully happen. I don't know if they will, because Disney doesn't ever admit their flaws. They just blame everything on quality and wokeness. Like, you just don't like it because of that. Yeah, positive thing is the episode ended. We're closer to this show being done. We're closer to the hopeful downfall of Star Wars, so they're forced to rebrand. Change of ownership, I guess you could say. That's a good way of looking at it.
Secure a staging ground before anything else. Take the enemy hangars. Use all required firepower.
That's the only thing, if I had to find something positive, is... Okay, so May, we already know she's turning back. Again, very boring plot line, called out a mile away. Captain Wonder Twin Powers activate! We're gonna see that now. That's how they're gonna defeat this guy, probably. The two sisters are gonna bicker. Why'd you leave? Blah, 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 blah. But at the end, they're gonna have to compete. Their powers are gonna combine. It's boring, whatever. But there's still 4 episodes where we don't know much about this particular villain. So I'm hoping it dives into something a little interesting. Won't save the show, but it might make it a little more, at least the last few episodes, enjoyable. But with the way they're handling it, I would not be surprised we don't get that. Like, I kinda feel we might get to finish this fight in the next episode. And then it's probably gonna be a very boring episode after that. And I'm still not even sold we're gonna get this fight next episode. For the same reason I said it's very like the late style of shooting. Like late style Walking Dead shooting, where you get one episode with The Walking Dead that was awesome. It ends with a kind of cliffhanger. And then next episode they go cover something else. So in this case, show's example, it would be they're going to show the flashback to what really happened. Which again, that even alone might be cool, because we might get to see action there, because obviously something happened. But it's just another example. They lead up to this fight, and then they cancel it, and now we got to wait for 2 episodes to get it back. Hopefully they don't do that, but their writing style of the shows is reminiscent of me of late Walking Dead, which was very, very bad at that. It just made the episodes so boring when you're like, ooh, finally something interesting's happening, can't wait to see next episode, and then they go cut to another storyline and they don't even mention that until another episode later on in the season. Like, please don't do that. But again, it doesn't matter at this point. Even if they show the fight, it's kind of shit for me. But really, the only thing that's interesting to me is this villain. That's the only thing I can find any little bit of interest in, to be honest. Even Soul, I like Soul, but it's just nothing to really write home about. That was funny though, man. Everybody was getting hyped up though. All these people like, dude, I can't. You know, the funny thing is, I'm gonna call out people because you know I'm bored. There's nothing to do. A lot of the people who were praising this show, a lot of the Disney lovers, if you will, were, I can't wait to see a Wookiee with full strength Jedi Wookiee. This is gonna be so awesome. I just like, oh, what happened there? And they're still gonna praise it because they can't say anything wrong. They're like, no, I actually like this better now that I think about it. They're gonna do that. They're gonna play that card, but it's just, yeah. I don't know.
Routing the enemy in the west hangar. Good. Hold position. Be thorough.
That's the thing, though. A lot of people want the shows to stay heavily involved with the Force, because I've literally seen people say it's not Star Wars if there's no Force involved, which I do not agree with in the slightest bit. But I get some fans are a little too focused on that thing solely. But yeah, their shows have not been very good. Andor, for example, it wasn't Force heavy, and it was good, so. Like you said, Book of Boba was the example of it not being, but even then, they still had the Force in it. They had Luke in there and Grogu, because, you know, they had to rush them back together to mess up the show's writing. I mean, I think everybody knew House of the Dragon was going to be #1. Even if the episode was bad, it's going to be #1 on HBO. It's going to get the views, so. People expect things out of that, so they would all go into it excited. Especially after how good season 1 was with that. I kind of agree with you, Grievous. I kind of agree with you on that. Like, they missed out on the proper setup if they were to introduce Abeloth. They're not doing a good job, let's put it that way. But in fairness, I don't think they set up Thrawn well either. Like, they've set him up in a world or in a universe. What is it? Yeah, a different universe, right? No. I don't know. Whatever. And not the Star Wars universe, but the other one. They set him up in a different galaxy, technically, not universe. They set him up where he didn't have a chance to show his true ability. We knew none of the characters he was going to face are going to die. His only real outcome is going to have to be to escape, and they have to, because the story is going to be incredibly boring if they leave him in that galaxy. So they're not setting up their characters very well. That's one of the things we were talking about the other day. Star Wars, when they do well, they have to have awesome characters. Good guys and villains. And so far, their writing of these characters is very lacking, in my opinion. Even on people like Thrawn, who everybody loves, myself included. And then we see him. I'm still hopeful moving forward, but I don't think they set him up well either. So even if they are setting up Abeloth, who I think could be a really awesome character, I'm still not sold they're going to do a particularly good job with it. But I just... Well, I don't know. No, the Eclipse game's not coming out. That shit's not happening. And if it is, it's going to be very, very, very far away, so... I think we'll just end the video here. I don't got anything else. So bye. See you guys later.